Welcome to day 11 of Learn Blues Harmonica in 30 days. We are actually just about halfway through the month. We're almost halfway through the month, but we are on the second half of our 4-week program. And we're going to talk about using your tongue today. So when you're playing a harmonica, you know, you can just use breath control, but you can also, you know, get all Halloween or Friday the 13th about it, you know, get some of that tongue sounding going on there. So instead of having a little bit of trouble with it today. Instead of just having that blow through, that draw through, you're getting that little t along the way. Now there's other tonguing, you know, tongue talking techniques as well. You can do tongue blocking. But I don't generally tongue block. It's something that I've always wanted to figure out. I just never have done it. Who knows, maybe one day I'll do it, and maybe I'll do another one of these where I actually talk about tongue blocking. But for right now, just remember just tap away with that tongue sound and make that staccato sound with your harp. It really can make a difference when you're looking for that sound, and it just makes everything sound a little bit cleaner when you're playing it. All right, so you've got your 12-bar blues, you got your draw, you got your blow, you got your workspace. Go ahead and add in those tongue techniques and, you know, see if you can really crisp up the sound of your harmonica playing as you're playing it. And of course, if you got any questions, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, hit the like. If you feel like donating, go to thejukejoint.countzeroblues.com and throw me a donation. Really do appreciate it. If you want one of these C harmonicas from East Top, I do have a link to it down below. It's the one that we're using. And come on back tomorrow, and we will talk about our next step in blowing harp. All right, you folks have a great day. Hey everybody, welcome to day 12 of Learn Blues Harmonica in 30 days. Today we're gonna have a guest speaker talking to us about specifically the turnaround. All right, turnaround, it's that thing at the end of the 12-bar blues. All right, you've got you've got your 4, then you got your 2, and then you've got your 2. Basically, it's those last 2 to 4 bars of your 12-bar blues. All right, and what it comes down to is turnaround is kind of a flourish. Turnaround is kind of the punchline of the 12-bar blues. So I wanted to ask our expert friend here, ChatGPT, to explain what the turnaround was. Hey there. All right, can you give us a quick explanation of what the turnaround is on 12-bar blues?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in a 12-bar blues, the turnaround is basically those last couple of bars that set you up to go back to the beginning of the progression. It's like a little musical cue that says, hey, we're wrapping this cycle up and about to start again. Usually you hit the V chord and then resolve back to the 1 chord, maybe with a little flourish or riff, and that's what gives it that signature bluesy loop.
All right, so what you're saying is when you get to those last 2 measures of playing the 12-bar blues, well, those last 2 bars of playing the 12-bar blues, you're kind of flourishing through, what is it, the 4 and then back to the 1, or is it 5, 4, and 1? You know, is it a half measure of this, half measure of that, or is it just everything all at once?
Yeah, you got it. It's kind of like a little recipe that can vary. Usually it's something like a V chord for a bar and then resolving back to the 1 chord, or maybe you throw in a little 4 chord in there for a half measure. It's really flexible. The main idea is just that you're doing a little flourish over those last 2 bars to signal, all right, we're heading back to the top. So you can mix it up a bit, and that's part of the fun.
All right, I think that's pretty cool. So, just as an idea, doing sort of like a chord, like doing a scale going down. That's a good example of trying to do a flourish at the end of the 12 bars.
Absolutely, that's a perfect example. Doing a little descending scale or a quick melodic run at the end of those 12 bars is a classic turnaround move. It kind of adds a bit of personality and really ties a nice bow on that progression before you jump back in. So yeah, that's a great way to do it.
All right, thanks.
You're so welcome. Glad I could help. If you need anything else, just let me know, and happy playing.
So yeah, if you haven't guessed yet, ChatGPT is actually a really useful tool these days for learning 12-bar blues and, well, really learning how to play harmonica, learning a lot of different stuff. It's actually been pretty helpful for me in general as far as figuring out what I'm going to talk about. Let's go ahead and hop into my MP3s here, and we are going to get a sample of 12-bar blues. Let's see. You've already heard this one. That was an example right there of a turnaround for you. So a lot of times when I'm doing a turnaround, you know, I'm following along with what's going on in the 12 bar. So I'll just do, you know, I'll just do a flourish like that. So really what it comes down to is when it comes to doing the turnaround, that last bit, really everything's just a guideline. Don't overthink it, just feel it. All right, now I wanted to remind everybody, pick up the harmonica. That's linked in the description. If you don't have one yet, like I said, I've got the East Top in C, and I've noticed that there's a version of those things that are on sale for like 15, 20 bucks, something like that. Actually 15 bucks, which yeah, if you've got a chance to pick that up, pick that up. 15 bucks is a great price for a good harmonica. So I'll see if I can find that deal and link to it. Let's see, remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, ask questions, and you know, let's get that conversation going about the blues. Hit that donation, thejukejoint.count0. Learn blues harmonica in 30 days, day 13. We're going to be talking about breathing today, breath control. It's a something we do constantly, every single moment of our lives. We breathe or we hold our breath. And when we hold our breath, we don't do it for more than a few minutes at a time. Of course. But here's the thing. Harmonica has a wonderful thing about breathing. All right. You've got reeds that, as you change the amount of breath you have, they do different things. If you're blowing through it heavily, it makes a certain sound. If you're blowing through it lightly, it makes a certain sound. If you suck in and then you turn it, it changes the sound. There's all sorts of wonderful things that you can do by controlling your breath when you're playing. I mean, there's the overblow. Changes that sound. There's the draw. There's the bend. These are all part of breathing. So, first of all, just remember, because of the way the harmonica works, you can constantly play it without ever taking a breath. All right. There's other instruments that are that way. There's techniques. The didgeridoo, for example. There's a cyclic breath thing that you can do with the didgeridoo, where you continue to make the noise out of it while you're breathing in through your nose. You know, you can do things like that with the harmonica. To be honest, I mean, I don't do it, but, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that's like that. That's part of the capabilities of the harmonica. You know, you can blow through it very lightly. You can put in that vibrato. You can do that breathing out, breathing in. There's all kinds of things that you can do. Just remember, breath is magic for the harmonica. When you're breathing into it, you're putting that magic into it. That's gonna give you so much beautiful expressiveness. You know, breathe lightly. Breathe heavily. Changing the volume, it's changing the sound. You're breathing in, you're breathing out. It's all coming together. You are casting spells with your harmonica. You're doing, see, we probably need to do a crossroads conversation at some point here, because, I mean, hey, it's the blues, but yeah, it's magical when you're learning how to breathe through it. Where you put the soul into it. So breathe lightly. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in through your nose while you're playing sometimes. Just use your lungs to express what you're feeling on the harmonica. I guess that's all I got for you on this one. Breath control. It's really, really super important. And it's also how you get so much feeling in what you're playing. Hit that subscribe button. Like what you're seeing. Donate some money at thejukejoint.countzeroblues.com. Sign up for my email list. I'm having problems with the email list. It's just countzeroblues.com, but I'm trying to get it worked out so I can get emails out to everybody. I'm working out places to put links to music that you can download. I think I may actually put up some of my music to, some of my pre-recorded stuff so that you guys can just go to it on YouTube. So, but we're gonna get it all figured out. Hello to Australians, hello to the British, hello to people from India, Indonesia. I got people watching from all over the world at this point. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in and taking this thing that's really important to me and making it important to you. And feel free to comment, ask questions, talk about anything that you want to talk about in the comments. I'd be happy to answer. And you folks have a beautiful, beautiful day. Day 14, comping. Today we're going to talk about playing backup in a band, in a group setting. Or say, for instance, you're just blowing harp as a background while somebody else is singing at karaoke. It does happen. It happens a lot more than you think. You start playing harmonica, somebody at karaoke is going to say, hey, can you back me up with this song? Say yes. Just say yes. Always say yes. As long as you got the harp for it, say yes. But you don't want to overpower them. You don't want to steal the center stage from them. All right, when you're up on stage, you're not always the center of attention. It's a huge, huge mistake that so many harmonica players make, is that they are given the opportunity to get up on stage with a bunch of people, you know, or they're in a band or something like that. You know, you're in a band, you're the lead vocalist. Your two things are singing and playing harmonica. You are not the center of attention when the guitar player is doing his solo. That's just self-centered. You don't do it, all right? You know what you do is you comp. You play background, all right? It's their turn to be the center of the stage. In the same way that when the drummer is doing their drum solo, everybody shuts up and just lets the drummer play the drums, all right? And that's what you're doing when you're comping. You are shutting up and letting somebody else lead the show. You're not the center of attention. All right. So when you're doing it, really think about doing rhythm. Think about doing chugging. Think about doing, you know, like simple chord stuff, you know. That's the reason why we already talked about the tonguing techniques, all right? You know, going through and doing that tongue blocking, doing that tapping, that ta 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 ta, when you're, you know, when you're playing, because that's really helpful when you're doing this. You're not the center of attention. You're not the main person, all right? And if you get this right, if you learn how to breathe lightly and just play backup, just comp in the background, you'll add something to it that nobody else is going to be able to provide, and everybody is going to want you there next to them. I'm going to go ahead and hit this up, all right? Here's an example. That's all you're doing. You're just doing little background hits, little thises and that's. You are just putting a little bit of feel into what you're doing musically. You're not taking center stage. You're not stealing somebody else's fire. You are just giving to everybody else with a little bit of what you're capable of. And if you can do that perfectly, or even if you can just do that passively, all right, you will be so appreciated. I remember once I was at an open mic night, and there was a local famous musician that was playing on that open mic night. Just got invited up and so on, and it was a blues jam, all right, but he really was center stage. Okay. And he said, and he said, hey, come on. And I was like, okay, cool. So I started playing. I was just playing background. I was just comping. All right. And he said specifically, man, you're probably the only harmonica player that I'm going to want to get up here and play with on a regular basis, because you don't try to steal the show. You just sit back and relax. When you get your turn, you blow it. You blow, I don't blow it as in screw up. I blow. I put my heart into it. I put my feeling into it. You know what? I'm not always that person. I'm not always the center of attention. I gotta pull back and let somebody else have the spotlight. That's one of those really important things that you need to learn. Just as a person. Just as a person, Yeah, you could be the center of attention all the time. You could be the one that tells the stories and says, hey, look at me. But man, it's so much better in life, when you do have that, when you are that center of attention, and you give it up to somebody who deserves to have it for a little while, and you support them, you give your energy to them. That's just, being a good person. Anyway, enough philosophy of life for now. Hit that subscribe button. Like what you're seeing. Donate some money at thejukejoint.countzeroblues.com. Sign up for my email list. I'm having problems with the email list. It's just countzeroblues.com, but I'm trying to get it worked out so I can get emails out to everybody. I'm working out places to put links to music that you can download. I think I may actually put up some of my music to some of my pre-recorded stuff, so that you guys can just go to it on YouTube. So, but we're gonna get it all figured out. Hello to Australians. Hello to the British. Hello to people from India, Indonesia. I got people watching from all over the world at this point. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in and taking this thing that's really important to me and making it important to you. And feel free to comment, ask questions, talk about anything that you want to talk about in the comments. I'd be happy to answer. And you folks have a beautiful, beautiful day. Day 15, tone shaping. Putting that feeling into your harmonica playing. All right, you can move your mouth around, create vowel sounds, or however you want to look at it. But yeah, you can drop your harmonica. You can create different sounds and different feelings and different volumes without increasing the amount of air that you're breathing through it. You can do, you can create those wah-wah sounds by moving your hand. You can change how you're blowing through the harmonica. I showed you some bending techniques where you're just moving the harmonica around. You can move your head and change the sound. There's all kinds of different things that you can do that are actually part of playing the harmonica, giving its feeling, giving it its tone. So, obviously, when you do your hand, you notice we talked about how to hold the harmonica and how to put your hand. You can completely enclose your hand. You can completely enclose the harmonica. And then when you open up the harmonica, then you can open and close it as you're going. you can change it. Now, when you start throwing in those tongue movements, the ta-tas, and start throwing the and then there's screwing up. I like to talk about guys like Little Walter and Junior Wells. Little Walter Little Walter had this really wonderful sound, and he did. It was just this dirty sound. Sometimes he's doing 2 holes, sometimes he's doing 1 hole, and so on. And a lot of people talk about how he's got technique. He's got this amazing technique. I don't think it was technique. I think it was just feeling. And when he did little screw ups and stuff, it was just natural. It was just part of his playing style. When you play, there's a lot of folks that get stuck into technique. How you add in this tongue here, how you add in some tongue here, how you do this, how you do that, how you do the other thing. And technique is great. If you can figure out exactly how something was done and you can redo it on purpose, that is wonderful. Okay, go be that amazing technical person. I just personally believe that if you're focusing on technique and you're missing out on feeling and on style and on emotion, you're cutting yourself short. Technique will come. Focus on expressing yourself with what you're playing. There's so many different combinations of feelings that you can have, and all of those things can be pushed through your harmonica and expressed through your harmonica. And they can really create meaning within what you're doing. And part of how you do that is just by expressing yourself with that tone. So yeah, learn to be technical, learn technique, but learn to feel it. I still maintain, and I've caught so much crap about this over the years, that Little Walter was an amazing harmonica player, not because he was technically good, but because he felt what he was doing when he played. His screw-ups, his just natural playing and being rough around the edges with what he was doing, okay, is emulated by technical harmonica players all over the world, because they want to get that sound and that feeling. And what they didn't, what I think that they're not realizing is that you can get that sound and that feeling by just pushing that, putting your feelings into the playing and not worrying about being perfect with it. Anyway, just my 2 bits on playing the harmonica and living your life. So get out there, get playing. It's the weekend. Down below in the description, there is that link to my donations. Click on that donation. It's jukejoint.countZeroBlues.com. You've also got a link to buying this harmonica on Amazon. Go ahead and do that. Sign up for my group. Sign up for my email list. That's just CountZeroBlues.com right now. I do have some things coming where we've got one more week at this, and I'm definitely looking at different things that we can do and where we can go from there. So stick with me on that. Like I said, get out and play this weekend and go and live your life. Find out what your best life is and live that. Count Zero out.